Let me know when.
Go ahead.
All right, everyone. Want to welcome you back on your nice little Easter Sunday. Thank you for joining us. And welcome to another episode of Foot Sports Span Talk on the GLX Sports. And I am your humble host, Big G.
Uh-oh. Raider Mike then paused up.
Hey, this is Big Shan in the house.
Where you at? Where you
at? It's the young architect. Yes, sir.
What's up, Raider Mike? You done froze up for a minute, man. You can go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
This is your boy, Raider Mike. I don't know what it froze where I thought I was going, but that's me. I'm here.
Defrozy. Yeah. Oh, last week, we got some stuff hot off the press, and I don't really like reporting on news when everything's not all the way, concrete. And last week we had some sad news in the NFL family, their family, you know what I mean, with Dwayne Haskins passing away at the young age of 24. Back then, details were kind of sketchy, so I let the guys go in and tell me what you guys think, about this sad loss. Young architect, you the youngest, let you jump in on that first.
It's kind of messed up because it seems like, because a lot of kids in my generation, barring anything, a lot of us are dying at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Whether in various different ways, but this one, it kind of hit different because I'm not a big college football fan, but there's certain players that you pick up on, and Dwayne Haskins was one of them because he was, for Ohio State. Shit, I remember one game where I think he broke Drew Brees' record, and then he threw for like 6 touchdowns. I forgot who they were playing against, but that's when Chris Olave was like a freshman or something like that. And I thought, Dwayne Haskins, I was like, damn, he gonna be solid in the NFL and whatnot. But seeing anybody young pass, it hurts. And my biggest thing was, the day he passed, you see Adam Schefter, he came out and said some cornball stuff talking about Dwayne Haskins had passed, but he was a struggling quarterback and he had problems, and then you had Gil Brandt, and he came in and was like Dwayne Haskins was living to die and shit like that. Like, I just think I take away from that, like, damn, boy, you don't care. That's a whole human being, like families grieving, friends grieving, and y'all come out and say stuff like that. I don't know how y'all still have a job, especially Adam Schefter, how big Adam Schefter is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I think it's really sad when someone young, so he passes away, especially in a manner of like, you know what I'm saying? He got out of his car and got hit by a dump truck. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I really got to say about it, man. It's sad to see someone young pass.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Shan, what you got on that, man?
Muted. You muted, I think.
My fault, man. I think it's sad, especially when I seen the comments related to like he didn't make COVID protocol. It's like, bro, this ain't the time to talk about that. You know what I mean? And then there's some more one bystander or somebody who's driving the car said he seen him out there waving his arms. You know what I mean? So it's going to be more to come, and I think it's kind of hush hush because he's an athlete and they're trying to protect the little dump truck driver. I think there's something more to it that's going to come out later, but it's still developing. But my condolences go out to his family. To see any man die at that age is just terrible. Another tragic loss, and he was on the pursuit of a decent NFL career, man. You know what I mean? So my heart goes out to the family.
Okay, Raider Mike.
Well, like I said, I know last week we it just happened, but I was just in total shock. But then when you run out of gas or anything, and you're on a freeway on the side of the road or anything, it's the thing. These cars don't look, they don't pay attention. They just keep driving. They hit you. That happened to my son. Thank God that he still alive. But this right here really hurts. I just want to give some condolences to his family and prayers out to all his families, his friends, his wife, because he was about to turn the corner, I believe, with going to Pittsburgh, and I just felt that he landed in the right spot because Mike Tomlin was about to have him ready. He was going to be balling. He was going to battle for the job against Trubisky this year. So I think, it's just sad. A young life was just cut way too early. But, it's the thing about, I don't know, man. I'm still in disbelief about it because all his teammates loved the guy, they said. So, saying that he must have been a good guy. He just, and he was about to get on track. I think, like I said, Tomlin was about to have him on track, and he was going to get resurrect his career the way he was supposed to. He's going to look like he did at Ohio State. But I just want to say rest in peace, my brother, and that's all I really have to say.
For me, I find it interesting, man. Like, if you just look at it, like I look at that video when he had that Ohio State jersey on, his little kid. He's in the locker room, and he's like, yeah, someday I'm going to play here. You know what I mean? He went on to play there, fulfilling that part of his little destiny. And, how things so tragically sometimes. Seems like Mike was saying, like he was on the right track. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely with the right coach, right organization to just get his life together as a man, not necessarily a football player, but just as a human being, as a man. Because Mike Tomlin, he's known for making men. You know what I mean? So I think that's sad. And then, to Shan's point, there's going to be more that comes out because, the whole thing with him crossing the interstate, there was someone on the 911 call who was basically saying, like, hey, there's someone crossing the freeway, and I don't think he's going to make it. They weren't necessarily saying he was waving his hand like he was asking for help. He was trying to get across because supposedly there may have been an 8 o'clock flight he was trying to catch to Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? And people are saying he ran out of gas, but there was no car in his name registered, on the freeway. And only one car was towed, which is the dump truck. So there will be more details coming out about it. Sounds like a situation that's not the norm, So I don't think there's anything sketchy though, but I don't think maybe, who knows what was going on. But, in any case, rest in peace to that young man. He had a whole lot of life ahead of him. It's just a sad situation,
Yeah, real quick, I want to read the tweet that Adam Schefter sent out that he tweeted before he deleted it, and all of Dwayne Haskins teammates came out and basically got on him. He said, Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State before struggling to catch on with Washington and Pittsburgh in the NFL, died this morning when got hit by a car in South Florida. And then Cardell Jones, Paris Campbell, a bunch of old Ohio State teammates, Lamar Jackson, other players came out and basically was like, bro, what the hell are you doing?
These cats don't have no damn soul. Adam Schefter, that man is an empty shell. So, these cats, they don't mind their words, man. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
how's he even still got a job? Idiot.
He gonna have a job. His last name is Schefter. So he's gonna keep a job. But
yeah, but damn, somebody died.
Like I said, man, like rest in peace to that man. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it pushing and go on to the next little controversial subject. Let's roll on to Mr. Cam Newton. Supposedly, mainstream media is reporting that man made some comments, and it's funny now. I find it funny that mainstream media is getting their information from YouTube podcasts and alternative news information. You know what I mean? That is funny to me. So, I bet you Gilly the Kid never thought that ESPN would be going to his podcast to get information for their show. But with that said, Raider Mike, what do you think about these comments?
Well, this is crazy, man. I have to leave Cam Newton alone. I'll listen to this for the little podcast thing he was talking with the guy. He didn't say nothing wrong. I mean, they put words into his mouth. Like you said, they're getting these stuff from different sources and just trying to put words in his mouth, trying to blackball him out to NFL. This is crazy how these people just I don't know why they even waste their time. It's not right though, because what he spoke was the truth, and he wasn't he strictly, he broke it down and said, no, that's for the badass bees, who don't know how to let a man lead, and then for the good woman who knows how to let the man lead and do what he needs to do. That's all he was saying. He wasn't degrading any women. He was just letting everybody know what the difference was. And he talked about how his mom and dad have been married for 36 years.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't get it. That was such a small little interview, and they just made something out of nothing. Just like I said, they put words in your mouth, and just for them to sell a story, just to have a story, just to try to sabotage somebody. It's always a black man. Why is it always us? He ain't sabotaging Bowers, who beat the hell out of some girl. He's still still playing for the Dodgers. The womanizer. So you trying to say Cam Newton is a male chauvinist pig or something, or a womanizer? He's not. He's not. Get off of Cam's back. That's what I gotta say.
Big Shan.
I mean, I agree. I just think it's one of those situations where in today's time, with this cancel culture, this Me Too movement, you got to think about what you're saying. You know what I mean? And especially Cam coming off that 2017 comment, I think it's funny. A female reporter asked me about receiver run routes. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's entertaining to him. But we fast forward 5 years later, and he says, I know the difference between a woman and a boss bitch. Now I guarantee you social media is like, the boss bitch don't have to cook. She don't have to stand, behind a man, blah, 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 blah. But all Cam was saying was like, look, I grew up in a household with what I call real women. I'm not looking for a boss bitch. I'm looking for a woman that's going to stand behind her man and let him lead. Does she want to stay at home? Boom, whatever. But I think all of us come out of a household where we like, hey, the man, the breadwinner, but we bow down to the woman. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get in no trouble, but it's just like, it's one of those things with this culture now where you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? And like men, especially black men, we get in trouble if we call you out on something. Like, man, you a boss bitch. To me, a boss bitch could do this, and that. But you can't do whatever. And it's like, who are you to tell me what a boss bitch is? You don't know the struggle I went through. So I just think, in his situations coming off of 2017, he's got to slow his roll, because interestingly enough, they're talking about now Carolina, who left the door open for him to come back, is going to pursue Baker Mayfield.
We already knew that garbage, motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
For me, I back that man 100%, and I kind of have been in the mind state of I don't give a fuck about cancel culture, and I don't give a damn about anybody trying to shortstop me for how I feel. I mean, the man done made probably close to $100 million, so I'm sure he wants to play in the NFL, but he doesn't need to. And also on that podcast, he was talking about his nice little classy upscale restaurant that he opened in Atlanta or whatever. So I think he feels free to be able to say what he wants to say. And the podcast didn't seek him out. He sought the podcast out to speak on it because he felt like he could speak freely on there and say what he wanted to say. And he's basically said, and he quoted, these bad bitches think that they could look the part, but not act the part. You know what I'm saying? And he thinks their whole thing is a bad bitch can dress provocative, and talk shit. Where to him, a boss bitch is a broad who can handle their own and knows how to cater to a man's needs. So there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, in these days, people are so uptight about being careful about what they say. I mean, in a lot of instances, it's warranted, and certain people, they need to stay in that lane because they need whatever outlets that they need to be able to survive. But for him, he's a free slave, man. That man's like, I say what I want to say, and the consequences are what they're going to be. You know what I mean? Because he said nothing wrong. And, the mainstream media, just like Mike said, took his words and twisted them, made them sexist. But this whole thing's like, bruh, I lived in a household where my parents were there and they were married the whole time. To me, my mom is a boss bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I know what that looks like. And what I see out here with the tight dresses and, at the club with the nails and hair and got your kid at home, you know what I'm saying, with the babysitter, that's
That's
not a
not
boss chick to
it.
me. So, that's how I feel about that. You got
Exactly.
architect, you know what I'm
Trying to have
saying?
a
You the
nigga
young man of the crew. What
this
is your
era,
opinion?
cash
So
app.
so coming from a younger man's perspective, I'm gonna say it like this. I wholeheartedly don't see anything wrong with what Cam Newton said. Because of the actuality of it is most women, you know what I'm saying, most women, at least in my age group, you know what I'm saying, they're very much let me not say most women. Let me not say most women. I don't want to say that. But
Let's say some.
there are some women who think that because they have the designer bags, the fancy clothes, out of the whole, some of them are on the I don't need a man, I hate all men mentality type thing. They think that makes them a boss woman. And that's cool, if that's what they believe. But as far as a man who knows what he wants in a woman, Cam Newton knows exactly what he wants in a woman. Cam Newton knows, like you said, he grew up with his parents, they were married, 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said it right. You know what I'm saying? He said women who can't cook, women who don't know how to be quiet. But then at the same time, it's not necessarily we want you or we need you to be quiet when we say so. It's just like there's a time and a place for everything. In women who carry themselves and know how to act accordingly, and whether that be by themselves, with a man, or in any type of environment, that's what makes you a boss woman. That's what makes you that type of, what I'm saying, as far as what some men are attracted to. Because there are some men who are attracted to that, oh, I don't need a man and I can do this by myself. That's cool. That's whatever. You know what I'm saying? You do what you want. But you can't you can't get mad at Cam for explaining exactly what, how he feels about a situation. That's just his opinion. Not everybody has to agree. It's like an asshole. Everybody has one. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Cam didn't say nothing wrong. He said he voiced his opinion. He voiced how he feels and how, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't necessarily need everybody to agree. But I mean, shit, we all know Cam. Cam speaks how he wants. Cam is a free bird. Even when he was in the league, he gonna say what he want. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nothing was wrong with it. I agree with him. I mean, shoot, man. It's hard to find whether that be man or female who has everything that you want. But I mean, shit. You can have, you can work on it.
And
Okay,
you know
okay.
what? He
Yeah.
actually had an interview with Sunita. I can't remember her last name, but she's the highest paid woman football player, and she was in that lingerie league and whatnot. And that interview was a month ago or over a month ago, where he was just like, "Hey, man, any woman that's down to get it, I'm down to back her. I'm all about the empowerment." And it comes out after the fact, so they're trying to twist it to your point, like with media, like, "Oh, now he wants to come out," but it was already recorded, so. Those statements that he made a month ago already backs up what we're all saying. It's just like, hey, man, I'm looking for a real woman. You know what I mean? And this is my definition of a boss bitch.
Yeah, and then we're going to jump from the flip side of that. You know what I mean? We got his comments blown up in the media. Then we move on over to Mr. Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
Who then slipped in some mud. And I don't hear anything about what's going on with him in the media. So let me enlighten the people a little bit. The state of Mississippi says Mr. Favre accepted 1.1 million from the state welfare system, and he was supposed to get that from doing speaking engagements to promote an initiative called Families First for the state of Mississippi. Problem is, he didn't make any speaking engagements, so he got the 1.1 million in the bank, but he had to do nothing for it. And when he was audited and made aware of this, he immediately paid back 500,000. But state wants their money back from Mr. Favre. And obviously there was something going on with the state. Everybody during the COVID time, money was going everywhere. And Brett Favre Enterprises got 828,000 of that. You know what I mean? And then there are other players and celebrities involved in this little state of Mississippi. Actually, I won't say celebrities. Marcus Dupree, we all remember him. He was a running back at OU.
Yeah, OU.
You know, yeah, he got a little taste of that money. And then Ted DiBiase, wrestler.
Oh,
He got
snap.
little Teddy got a little bit of that money too. But Mr. Favre is not a stranger to controversy. You know, he had the Sexton scandal back in the day when he went to the Jets, and he had to, show Mrs. Jen Sturger, a reporter for the Jets, a little picture of his little junk of little Brett. You know what I'm saying? Sent her a little picture. Then he had the little thing with the massage therapist too for the Jets. 2 women. And ironically enough, when those 2 women husband demanded Mr. Favre apologize to their wives, both their wives got fired. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we'll take care of that problem for you, Mr. Favre. So he's no stranger to controversy, and even with that, what was it? He was being sued, I guess in January of 2018, his company was being sued because he tried to defraud an investor for $60 million. But the investor looked at the paperwork that they sent them for the projections and saw something was wrong. And once he saw that something was wrong, sued Mr. Favre and Spare Sports, the little company that he represented. So, Brett's no stranger to controversy, man, but it seems like they're trying to let him skate on this. You know what I mean? What you got to say about that, architect?
Deep down inside, Brett Favre will never not forget that he is a country boy from Mississippi. And, Mississippi, at least poverty-wise, they're not one of the more richer states. He probably know a little something.
Mississippi.
He probably know a little something, too, about scamming and whatnot. I mean, especially he can just go off his name. He can pretty much go anywhere and be like, all right, Mr. Favre, we got you taken care of. Does it surprise me? Not. It kind of does, just because I haven't heard Brett Favre's name in a while, and for this to be the first thing that I hear about him in, a few years, it kind of threw me off for a second. But nonetheless, we all know, even in the NFL, Brett Favre was always he was like the fun guy. He always seemed like he liked a little bit of mischief. So, it seems like right up his alley, especially if it's big money. You know what I'm saying? I guess Wrangler and Coppertone wasn't paying him enough money. You need a little extra. I don't know, man. I don't really know what else to say about it, man. I mean, shit. Roughly $8 million in welfare payments just for himself. Like, shit, man. I should have tried to hit you up on the phone during the pandemic. Be like, hook a brother up.
It was 1.1 million, but he owes 800,000 though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, I mean, shit. I could have thrown me a little 10-piece.
So funny. Ironically enough, researching this for Brett Favre. Excuse me. Ran across a video of him in his first, I think, maybe second year, and the coach was trying to explain to him how to defeat Green Bay. He's in Green Bay, and the homegrown was trying to tell him how to defeat a nickel defense. This fool Brett Favre is like, what the hell is a nickel defense? What is that? And the backup Ty Detmer is trying to be like, hey, man, that's when they take one linebacker out and they put an extra DV in. And Brett Favre was like, so what? We just play football, man. I was just like, I wonder what his Wonderlic score was.
Hey, it don't matter. He had the cannon. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't know, shit.
You just throw it to the man that's open, Brett.
Just too bad, it's too bad he got caught up. You know what I'm saying? That sucks for him. No, now you got to pay some money back.
Yes, indeed. Raider Mike, what you got on it, man?
Shit, I don't really know what. I mean, man, that's crazy. I mean, he can get away with it. And see how they swept it under the rug, try to keep that on a hush. That been one of us, boy. It'd have been top story on Sports Center. We'd have heard it over and over. You'd have woke up and still heard it. I woke up, thought you was in a damn nightmare or dream. They said, it's not a dream. We're going to keep bringing it up. But they're going to bring it up. We're going to bring it up. But, anyway, I mean, Brett Favre, I mean, you ought to be ashamed of yourself doing that. I mean, how you going to say you going to do some speeches and you don't show up? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
there's
that
no
fool
consequences.
thought he was that fool. It's consequence. That fool thought he was Eddie Kane Jr. or something. He didn't show up, or David Ruffin. He said, "Today is Sunday, David." I mean, Brett. And he said, "Oh, I thought the meeting was said I thought it was Sunday, and no, the meeting was Saturday." Brett. You know what I'm saying? Thought he was Eddie Kane Jr. or shit, or Ruffin, huh? You can get away with this shit, huh? Yeah, but he got to pay it back. I mean, it is that's what it is. You just pay. He just need to pay it back like any other person that have been one of us. We going to jail though.
So I was about to say,
You know,
they'll let him pay it back.
He don't have to pay. If he don't pay him back, they ain't gonna put him in jail or nothing like that. One of us is either pay or you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put you on a payment plan, but you gonna pay. You know,
One of us we probably would be in jail.
Yeah, we'll be. No, we already be in jail. We'll be in there talking through the collect call, phone call.
Yeah. Yes,
You know
yes.
what I'm saying?
Big Shan,
So
what you think about it,
have
Big
to
Shan?
say about it.
Yeah.
I'm totally in agreement with all y'all. My biggest takeaway is like, bro, you ain't learned your lesson. You know what I mean? But it just reiterates the point. He ain't got a lesson to learn. You know what I mean? Because what we talking when like over 20 years ago, he was texting and doing dick pics and didn't get in trouble other than an apology. You know what I'm saying? And then like it's actually 8 million, 8 million, but I think his daughter is going to Mississippi and they had him build a volleyball court for him. I'm like, damn, what the hell kind of volleyball court is that you need 5 million to build for it, right? And the text that he sent out to the dude from the Human Resource Department in Mississippi was like, hey, brother, we still owe 1.1 million on the volleyball, you know, could you help out with that? Just heck of casual. Now, look, I'm not rolling in dough and whatnot, but I'm smart enough to know that.
Is that part of the wealth? That's part of the welfare scandal?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8 million. I did hear about
8
that.
8 million. Like
It's 8
his
million.
daughter got 5. The school he went to, his daughter went to, got 5 million for a brand new volleyball court.
Oh, Southern Miss?
Yeah. You know, but he owes 1.1 million because he was supposed to help out with that. You know what I mean? And then the dude, the director of the Human Resource Department, his kickback was he was going to get his stock in that pharmaceutical company. You know what I mean? And Brett put that all in the text. He was just like, you and Nancy stuck your neck out for me and Jake and Parvicus. I know that's going to turn out very good, I believe. Like, kind of like, bro, you got to come through. You already made a commitment. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's just like, man, like, we don't argue with our significant others, bless you, over text or emails, because they could come back and be like, you said on August 19th at 5 p.m., blah, 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 blah. You know, that's a conversation. Hey, bro, I need to talk to you. You know what I mean? And you know, so it's going to be a slap on the wrist. They're going to let them pay it back. It's not going to be like, we need our cash right now, or you got to do community service. You know what I mean? Like, but this is Brett Favre. He's won a Super Bowl for Green Bay. I mean, come on, you know, but it's nothing new under the sun, man. You know, and with everybody on some billionaire status nowadays, it's like, it's only $1 million. It's not much. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah, but that's it. The article I read was like mid-range. Yeah, it's $1 million. God damn.
I think it was in total, it was like 8. Yeah.
Jesus.
And the
Jesus.
governor was involved.
Jesus.
It's a lot of people involved in that. It's not just Brett Favre. The governor, the whole state of Mississippi is corrupted.
Yes. We're going to move right along. Speaking to NFL and their wonderful citizens. We're going to go into some of these new NFL draft prospects. We're going to chop it down by position. I guess I don't know how many positions we're going to do tonight. We had another person, as you could all see. Redder Later 19 is not in attendance tonight. She's traveling at the moment, and she was going to take the O-line for us. I don't even know if we're going to go through the O-line now that she's not here, but we'll start off with Big Shan. I believe you're doing the tight ends, right?
Nah, I'm doing the backers, the running back.
Oh, running backs. Okay, so hit it.
So I don't think it's anybody that's going in the first round except for one cat that's possibly from Iowa State, Brees Hall. You know, he's got
Bryce
the little.
Hall.
Yeah,
You know, I'm gonna mess up a name or two, man. You know what I mean? I don't follow
3 or 4.
or 5 or 6. I'll own that. You know what I mean? But you won't catch it in a tweet. You know, but
Get it right.
I mean, like
Get it right.
he's more of a complete package and whatnot. And then, he's got 3,000 yards racked up over there, But I think there's going to be some difference between number 2 or 3, because I think after that, everybody else is going in the second round. I don't think like this is the year for the running backs. But I think it's going to be between Kenneth Walker from Michigan State at number 2 or Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M. They're going to be going back and forth, right? But I think the sleeper, the what they call the bargain deal is going to be Tyler Algier from BYU, because he's big boy and he's squatting like 705 pounds. And he used to play linebacker. Right, he played linebacker for 1 year for BYU, so he's got that defensive mentality, But BYU didn't really use him because he don't have that speed. But try to take a cat that's 224 pounds down, you know what I mean, and knows how you coming at him, Yeah. So I think he's gonna be the sleeper. But you also got Dalvin Cook's brother in there. Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now he doesn't have the physical attributes that his brother has, but he's gonna get a look just because he's one of those legacy cats, right? But if the right offense picks him up, dude's a good, like, okay, kind of like a slot back. You know what? We're gonna run you on the slant, quick. He's got good hands, whatever, make some stuff happen. So I think he's gonna do okay in the drafts. I think like this is gonna be a year where it's kind of like how the Warriors picked up a lot of cats that were kind of passed by, but all of a sudden they got this legacy going on. You could get you some good running backs. You still got I think his name is Carr from Notre Dame. He's in the top 5.
Nothing about Brian Robinson, huh?
No, we got Brian Robinson, but he's kind of like 8 in all the overalls that I've seen. You know what I mean? And it's because he's 6'2", 225, but he's not like Tyler Algier. You know what I mean? He's just big boy. And then like
kind of like Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
big boy.
No, Derrick Henry different though.
Derrick Henry has speed though. Derrick Henry has speed, bro, for big boy. You know what I mean? But so like, like I said, in the second round, you're going to see a lot of these cats get picked up. So the list I got is, Brees Hall, Iowa State, Kenneth Walker, or Isaiah Spiller, 2 or 3, James Cook from Georgia, and then Kyren Williams, Notre Dame, Damian Pierce, and then Tyler Algier and Brian Robinson from Alabama, Zamir White from Georgia. I thought he would be a little higher in the pick because I kind of like the cat, man. You know what I mean?
Kind of like who?
Zamir White. You know what I mean? He's like 6 foot 214, but at the same time, he's a redshirt junior, which would make him a true senior. You know what I mean? So, but his stats were okay. And then rounding out the top 10 is going to be Pierre Strong from South Dakota.
Okay. Nice little rundown, man. Nice little rundown like that. Young architect, what position did you have?
I chose the defensive line, man. They said obviously number 1, they got the number 1 ranked dude is Aiden Hutchinson, man, 6'7", 265. I think honestly, he was good for what Michigan needed. You know what I'm saying? I think, don't get me wrong, I think he's going to be a good player in the NFL. But my number 1 ranked defensive end, D lineman, whatever you want to call it, is that boy from Oregon. You know what I'm saying? That boy, Kayvon Thibodeau, that boy is nice. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Indeed.
he's 6'4", 260, and he runs sub 4'6". You know what I'm saying? Just watching the tape, that man pops off. He pops off the screen. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing it since he was a freshman. You know what I mean? I think I think one of the more overhyped players is going to be that big boy from Georgia. Was it Jordan
Don't
Davis?
say Jordan Davis, man. I like him.
I like him too. But I mean, shit. Don't get me wrong. He big. He athletic. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. Unfortunately, I just don't see like
It's like Public Enemy.
it don't
Can't
pop.
trust-
It don't pop to me. It don't pop to me as much as a lot of other people. Because I mean, you big and athletic. In my eyes, you should be doing the things that you're doing to these other SEC. You know what I'm saying? Because you're bigger and stronger than them. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I think he's gonna be good. Yeah, he
Is Mike frozen or is he asleep?
He frozen.
He's asleep.
Yeah, no, man. I think
Wake up. It's the first of the
the
month.
big thing was like, obviously, Aiden Hutchinson, he's a part of the year when Michigan beat Ohio State. And that's like the biggest game, one of the biggest games of the year. But another one, man, I mean, obviously you throw Trevon Walker in there. But I like this cat from Purdue, George Karlaftis, whatever. I think that's how you say his last name. I think he's gonna be a solid three down DN or D lineman. You know what I'm saying? 6'4", pushing 280, 285. You know what I'm saying? And he runs a 4.8. But I mean, he's one of those guys that the NFL guys say he plays with a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He does make impact plays. He is a good defensive lineman, but you know what I'm saying, as far as that's the person that I want to take. Nah, if I'm picking number one overall, I'm picking Mr. Thibodeau from Oregon.
Definitely. Then guess we won't go to Mike because he's asleep.
Wait, Mike up.
That man's cryogenically frozen right now.
Yeah.
So we can go on to mine. I was gonna break down these here quarterbacks, man. Know what I mean? And I watch the quarterback, and you guys know I watch a lot of college football. I wasn't impressed really by any of the quarterbacks this year. There's some nice, solid ones. There is no down number one sure shot picks. There is no Trevor Lawrence in this year's draft.
No.
We have the one who was a preseason Heisman candidate was Matt Corral, played for Mississippi. I mean, he played under what's his name, the old coach Kiffin for the Raiders, the old coach. He had the offense, spread offense, and they throw the ball around. And Corral, he is good, he's decent, but when you project him out to the next level, he just looks like, you know what? They have a comparison of Deshaun Watson for him. I'm like, that's not even
that's nah.
universe. You know what I mean?
Can't
I was just
compare him
like,
to Deshaun in college.
nah, hell no. I was like, I put him in the Baker Mayfield category, and not even as good because Baker won Heisman. So I'm just
you know what I'm saying?
He's okay. He's 6'1", 205. He's mobile, got a nice strong arm, but he'll be maybe a starter for a team that's not too good in the future. Start some game, maybe like a Case Keenum. Start some games, but he'll never be your guy. Then you got Sam Howell from North Carolina. Another one, I watched him play. Had some great games. I've seen him in shootouts where he threw for damn near 600 yards. He's another one. He'll put up a 600-yard game, but then he'll throw up a stinker on you. Your guy, very streaky. As far as NFL prospects, I see just a guy. He won't be the guy. He'll just be a guy. He's only 6 feet, 221. He has an elite arm. I'll give him that. He can make the throws. He can run a little bit too. So he's another one to put him in that Baker Mayfield-like category. The one I like out of all of them, they have him projected lower down, is Kenny Pickett. They don't like Kenny Pickett because he has small hands. I'm like, all right.
I don't care.
And, in circumference, the NFL football is an inch bigger as far as circumference. So, and they're saying like his small hands, it didn't hinder him in college. It's going to hinder him in NFL. We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I like, as far as watching him play against like top level competition, the guy looked good. He rose up to the caliber of teams that he played against. So I'll give him that. And he's got good size. He's 6'3", 217. He doesn't stand out in any way, but he's solid in all ways. So I give him that. And then we go to the wild card, Malik Willis.
Yes, sir.
Got the strongest arm out of all of them, faster than all of them, the most athletic, and has the most upside. He's only 6 feet tall. He's 220 pounds. So he has a nice little base. You know what I'm saying? He can do all the things Kyler Murray can do, except he's a little taller than Kyler. So I think he could be, if he pans out, he could be the diamond in the rough. Mm-hmm. And the one that they kind of put more on that I'm not so sure about.
I know exactly.
Mr. Desmond Ridder. 6'4", 215 pounds. I watched him play. Believe me, I wanted to believe in Cincinnati. And he's the reason, to me, why they couldn't get to elite status. He's good. No, don't get me wrong. He can't, let me say he can be good. But when I watched him play against elite defenses, just a guy, man. He can't make it happen. If all the things around him are operating and good, he could be cool, but he's not going to be that guy that makes that throw into double coverage and then put the needle in the haystack type of thing. He's not going to pinpoint with his accuracy and be great. He's good. He's solid. He'll be a good backup. Someone's going to make him the starter someday, and they're going to have that hope, and they'll be disappointed, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you look at him, and sometimes you got to compare to other people. Do you think he's better than Marcus Mariota was at Oregon? No. Mm-hmm. And look at how Marcus Mariota
he went all the way to the championship, right?
Yeah. Desmond Ridder is not in the same atmosphere as him. You know what I mean? Look at how Marcus Mariota's pro career is gone. You know what I'm saying? So look at Desmond Ridder in that aspect, and you'll see he's just a guy, man. You know?
Real quick to tap into your Kenny Pickett thing, you know who else had small hands? Mr. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
That man took his team to the Super Bowl.
Say, how did that go for him?
Yeah, you see it worked out fairly well.
Exactly. I like Joe Burrow. All right. So it looks like, man, is there some way we can get this sleeping man off the screen, man?
Young G attack offline, man. I think you can pause his video but leave his mic on so we know when the stuff's unbroken.
That man's just over there like
I thought we was doing the statue challenge.
Yeah, I said just it's called that. They called him mid-blink.
It was like
no, I'm really here.
I was having trouble concentrating, but if you want to, we could talk. I pulled up the tight ends, man. You know they're not going to the second round, and the leader of the pack is probably.
Nah, I don't want to talk about the tight ends, man. I didn't want to talk about the NFL draft here, but Mike wanted to. That was his thing, and since he's frozen and cryogenically gone, we're gonna move on.
I'm good with that.
We're gonna talk about. Would Michael Jordan be considered to be the GOAT if he wasn't 6-0 in the NBA Finals? And since this is a subject that's near and dear to your heart, Mr. Architect, we're going to let you start us off on this one.
Okay. Now I'm going to read off the rest of his stats. But without that, 14-time All-Star, 10-time scoring champ, steals champ 3 times, 6-time NBA champ. Well, obviously that, right? 11-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, you know what I'm saying? Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time MVP, 9-time All-Defensive Team. All while averaging 36-5 for his career, right? Now, don't get me wrong. That if you read that off, obviously that's a Hall of Fame caliber type player. But then you look at Michael Jordan. You look at him, you know what I'm saying? Without those 6 rings, man, if he don't go 6-0, it's hard for me to believe that people will consider him the greatest player of all time. I think he would be one of those. I think he would be one of those players who, yeah, you were hella good. Realistically, I think they would look at him as like a way better version of Charles Barkley when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So
God damn.
and that's and I mean that in the most respectful way. And when I say that, because Charles Barkley is a Hall of Fame player, right? Hall of Fame player. And he led that Suns team to the finals. But
you realize his accolades aren't even in the same atmosphere as Mike's.
No, I know. Let me finish.
Same universe.
I know.
Man.
All right. But then here's the thing, though. You look at somebody like a Magic. You know what I'm saying? Magic came in his rookie year and won. You know what I'm saying? Finals MVP. Nobody's ever done that. You look at Kareem. Kareem really, shit. That man been winning since high school, probably before that. You know what I'm saying? Some people consider him the GOAT before Mike. You look at some people will look at Kobe, some people will look at LeBron, some people would even look at Wilt and Bill Russell. Now, me personally, if you want to talk about winning championships, if winning championships is what all end all be all, you got to say Bill Russell's the greatest of all time. He got 11 of them things. Regardless of him being on a good team, he got 11 of them things. And
what about the fact that Sam Jones? Who's Sam Jones?
He's on that team too. He's on the Celtics too. I know who Sam Jones is. I don't know as much of Sam Jones.
Let's say, he got 10 rings, right? Nobody ever said his name.
Exactly, right? And that's another thing. See, people they try to erase things from history, erase certain things from history and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But I think, don't get me wrong, I think Michael Jordan is a hell of a player. You know what I'm saying? But him going 6-0, that definitely helped him a lot. But I think also what really helped him was that he was the first one that the NBA tried to really that the NBA really got back behind and as far as pushing the sport
him
globally, that's what made him the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
It's like he didn't, but it wasn't really the NBA who marketed him like that. It was Nike. Nike, right? Nike. Because I've been watching that Showtime Lakers show, and Magic Johnson passed up on Nike. If Magic Johnson would have stayed with Nike, who knows? He could have been the one that, you know what I'm saying? No, they did a projection. He'd have been worth $5.2 billion.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It would have been Magic who would have been like, oh, he's the GOAT. But here's the thing, man. Nike did a hell of a job promoting that man. They did better than Don King did with any boxer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it's hard for me to say, man, because I think, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. But to say that basketball-wise, purely basketball-wise, him being considered the GOAT, because what? I think Kobe passed him in scoring, right? I think Kobe passed him in scoring. I know LeBron did. And Kareem all time. You know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about scoring and impact, I would say it would have to be I would go Kareem or LeBron, just based off the impact that they've had everywhere, everywhere they went. Shit. After Kareem left, you see Milwaukee and win a championship till they got Giannis. You know what I'm saying? You look at Kareem, once he got to the Lakers and he got Magic, boom, boom, ring. Even a LeBron James and this is just from my era, you know what I'm saying? Growing up watching LeBron James at 22, make it to the NBA Finals. Everywhere he's gone, he's won a championship. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't always been great. He's had to get it through the mud sometimes. But you know what I'm saying? That you can't take away as far as basketball greatness, not even off the court. You know what I'm saying? Basketball greatness, yeah, I think there are certain players who are better than Michael Jordan.
Like
who? You know what I'm saying? LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
So who's the GOAT? Russell. So who's the GOAT?
Who's my GOAT? Oh, my GOAT is LeBron James.
But let me just be clear on the argument. Is it LeBron versus Jordan, or is it LeBron?
No. The question is, would Jordan be considered to be the GOAT if he wasn't 6-0 in the finals?
Because that's everybody's argument at the end of the day. A lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people's argument is Jordan went 6-0 in the finals. You know what I'm saying? But that's realistically, if he didn't go 6-0, would we be talking about him the same? If he went 5-2 like Kobe, would they really be, you know what I'm saying? Would it be the same argument?
All right, well, let me follow that up since Shan seemed a little mixed up on what to talk about.
No,
This
I'm
is
not.
this is it here. This is it, man. For me, I say no, he would not be considered to be the GOAT if he wasn't 6-0 in the finals and he didn't have 6 finals MVP. But the thing is, he is 6-0 in the finals. And he does have 6 finals MVPs. So that has to be taken in consideration. But for let's just say the sake of argument, let's take that away. Would he be the GOAT? Let's see. Is he the most physically gifted ever to play the game? Hell no. That would be Mr. LeBron James. Is he the most mentally tough to ever play the game? Maybe that subject to conversation, but a lot of people say Kobe, the whole Kobe mentality. So that could be that. Most rings? No. Shit. You talk about Bill Russell and I brought up Sam Jones. I'm like, hell, Robert Ory has 7. You know what I'm saying? So you got big shot Bob. He got 7. You know what I'm saying? Most points scored. Nah, you got Kareem, you got LeBron, you got Karl Malone. You know what I mean? Is he the most dominant in his era? Like, he dominated his era, but was he more dominant than Wilt in Wilt's era?
Hell no.
Or Kareem in Kareem's era? And all that is a no. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and you got to look at like Kareem or Wilt. They never had a big 3. They never had like a cats that they brought in just to freaking create this super team to win. You know, like when Jordan, he didn't win shit till he got Pippen. You know what I mean? And
he was getting his ass.
but as far as Kareem with the Lakers, they didn't bring those cats. They drafted Magic. They drafted Worthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Did they trade for Michael Cooper or they drafted him too?
I believe they drafted him out of New Mexico or New Mexico State, one of the two. Okay. So that's homegrown. That's like some Golden State Warriors shit. You know what I'm saying? Before we got Durant. But you know what I'm saying? The thing is, I would say if you're just going off of pure talent, pure will to win, all that type of shit, I would say no, he wouldn't be considered the GOAT. But I think the fact that he is 6-0 in the finals, you know, and he is 6 MVPs in the finals, the most recognized guy that ever played the game, whether it was Nike blowing him up or not, which they did, you know what I'm saying? That's why he's considered to be the GOAT. But the crazy thing about that, I always considered him the GOAT myself. But lately, I just been looking at freaking the feats LeBron has done as far as like, especially that coming back from 3-1 on the Warriors and that 73-win team. You know what I'm saying?
You know we hated that.
Even though Kyrie, the maestro, was the main little cog in that shit. Yeah. But the things LeBron has done with mediocre talent around him, Jordan has never been able to win with mediocre talent. So I don't know. My thing is I say no, he wouldn't be considered the GOAT if not. And even with that, bro, I give LeBron another couple of years. If LeBron win another title, to me, I give him GOAT status, man. You know what I'm saying? He's in the conversation right now, but if he wins another one, I give it to him. You know. So Big Shin, what you got on it, man?
I mean, like, you know, we from that era. You know what I'm saying? And then just the mere fact that he took a pause, retired, went and played baseball for a minute, then came back. And, you know, the season before they went in 96, 97, 98, 95, he only played 19 games. You know, granted that he had a good coach, a good GM to put players around him, they still went 3-peat. You know what I mean? Was that his doing? Nah. You know what I mean? But he recognized what he was playing with. Now, LeBron came in the game at 18 years old, right? I mean, that's a lot to be said. You know, he didn't really come into his own until maybe around the second or the third year when he got his little mask and his manhood on. But if you go on their 4 seasons side by side, Jordan crushed him. You know what I mean? Defensive player of the year, second dunk contest, MVP, blah, 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 blah. Everything that nobody has done since him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know what? Don't get me wrong. Them rings help. You know what I mean? But don't take away what he's done. And I think what happens is like every year it's like Muhammad Ali, and you have his replacement, Tyson. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna have Tyson's replace. We still ain't really found it. You know what I mean? But
But who's considered to be the GOAT in boxing?
Muhammad Ali. But
Okay.
Muhammad Ali is not necessarily he wasn't the best boxer out there, but he was the most international figure, the well promoted, the well spoken, and did the best for the league. And that's
Who's
the
better?
same with who than Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, in his prime.
Foreman's a good
Think
run.
carefully. You said Foreman?
Foreman was a good run, bro.
Did Foreman beat him? Did Foreman beat him?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
shit, we gotta take you off the show, nigga.
George Foreman didn't beat him?
I thought he did. I thought they went back and back.
They only fought once, bro.
The Rumble in the Jungle. Oh, I thought they went back and back.
No.
But okay.
He went back to back. He went with Frazier, Joe Frazier.
Oh, okay. I got it confused. My fault.
The Thriller in Manila.
Yeah, my apologies. But the point of it is that, like you can't take away Jordan's greatness for what he had to play at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron, like he came in the game at 18. You know what I mean? Same as Kobe. But guess what? Kobe got all his rings with the same team. Right? Where did LeBron get his team? Boom, boom, boom. Now, if LeBron got all his rings with Cleveland, this wouldn't even be a conversation. 100. You know what I mean? But his first ring, if I'm not mistaken, was with Miami, and then he went back to Cleveland and got his rings. But if he stayed there, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, 100. Because guess what? If Jordan hadn't retired, the 6-0 might have been 6 straight. And that's all I'll say on that. And, I'll leave it alone on that, man.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. But like, how hard is it to win with different organizations, though? How often has that been done? You know what I'm saying? How many times has one person, wherever they went,
and he's been Finals MVP every time.
They've been the final MVP and they brought home the ring. Like to Cleveland never had a championship. And he went back just to get them one. He's just like, even though he hated the owner and the owner hated him, he like, I love the city. I love Akron, where I'm from. So, all right, I know I did y'all wrong. I went out here, got my rings. Boom. I'm going to go back and get you one. All right, I got you one. Guess what? Now I want to be a superstar. I'm going to LA. Hey, LA, guess what? I'll bring you a ring. Boom, got you a ring. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, there's something to be said for that shit. That's not easily, it's never been done before. And
Plus,
by a dude who called himself the king and came in.
That man got chosen one tatted on his back at 18.
And fulfilled that shit, period.
I guess the thing that kind of taints that, though, is when he went to Miami, that was a stacked deck. Everybody knew that they was going.
Yeah, but you got to think about it, too. I mean, now, back then, back in the 90s, you didn't have free agency.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
But hold up, a stacked deck
Players didn't have
shit.
empowerment.
What about when the Lakers
they lost the first year?
The Lakers had Gary Payton, Karl Malone, motherfucking who else is another person on the team? There's Gary Payton, Karl Malone. I believe they had Kobe or Shaq. One of them.
They had Kobe and Shaq, and I think they had Dennis Rodman too, right?
Yeah, I mean, God damn, that's what you call a stacked deck, buddy.
Wait,
you know what
then
I'm
you got to think about it too, right? LeBron at 22 led his team to the finals, right? And they lost to the Spurs.
Yeah.
He leaves Cleveland, they're trash. When Jordan retired, got banned, whatever you want to call it, for them 2 years, them fools was back in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying?
That, man.
That wasn't because of Jordan. That was because of Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even when LeBron left Miami, they weren't that. They didn't go to the playoffs. They were garbage. And then after LeBron left Cleveland again, they were garbage. They just now got good, decent, I should say. And then who's to say? I mean, obviously this year when LeBron was out, you see they're not even in play-in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's a different mentality.
Garbage now, though.
That's what I'm saying. LeBron didn't play the majority of the year, though. Yeah. I mean, and this was arguably his statistic. But LeBron now is at the age where, and I think we're starting to see where he can't carry a team by himself.
Yeah, that's what I was
Now
about to say.
LeBron needs that
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen. He
Look
needs that
at-
Scottie Pippen. He needs that
At the
Dennis Rodman
age,
type.
at the age LeBron is now, Jordan was retired, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and then
and then LeBron will be back again next year. There's no one in league history who's averaged as many points as he's averaged at the age he is right now, man.
nah.
You know what I'm saying? He's a physical freaking specimen, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a freak of nature.
Oh, he's back. Oh,
So I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, the thing just went blank.
Let's just say it like this, though.
We didn't know if you were asleep or not.
LeBron's jersey number was 23. It's so many 23s out there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking anything away from LeBron. Like at the end of the day, he's the only one that's running neck to neck with Jordan and whatnot. You know what I mean? And it's like Shaq say, that's why you don't have none of these, Chuck. You know what I mean? He's got 6 rings. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, LeBron got 4.
6 rings don't mean shit, man. It's people with 11 rings, 10 rings, 9 rings, 7 rings.
Steve Kerr got more rings than Michael Jordan. Shit.
No, but back-to-back 3-piece, they should have patented 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man.
Well, they did because the Lakers patent 3-piece because they did it before them.
Right, but did they do
Pat
2?
Riley's patent 3-piece, the term.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they did it before Jordan.
I'm just saying, like,
Man.
let's not take anything away from Jordan. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't look.
How could we take anything away from Jordan when he is the GOAT? That's his title. You know what I'm saying? So
like
it's not like
they coined him that. Like, you know
that's what I'm saying. We're not trying to.
it?
It's not trying to take nothing away from him. We're trying to deconstruct some shit and build it back up and see what it looks like. You know what I'm
I
saying?
want to hear what Raider Mike got to say about it since he's here now.
Well, shit, I didn't know what the hell I left in the first place. It just went off, and then I was like, I thought it was gonna come back on, and then it just went all off the screen. But
Hey,
anyway.
nigga, here now. What you got to say?
I done missed the stuff that I wanted to say.
So the question was, will Michael Jordan still be considered the GOAT if he didn't go 6-0 in the finals?
I don't know. He probably would. I mean, but my thing is he gonna continue to be the GOAT? I think he would. I mean, well, no, he probably wouldn't, because they trying to base everything on winning. If you're going to base everything on winning championships, then probably not. But if you're going to base things on just being the best scorer, best player, on the planet, then yeah. Then I would say he would definitely be the greatest player if you're going to judge it by statistics, by all the stats. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you really say that, if they had to go by that, then I guess Kobe would have been the GOAT after. If they would just did it based on stats, his stats was better than Jordan's stats. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't, like Kobe got 5 rings, Jordan got 6. We can debate all day. I mean, but I think Mike, okay, he's the GOAT. But LeBron is in that room. And I'm sorry to say, at the end of his career, I don't care what none of you guys say, I don't care what anybody says, if LeBron get one more ring or not, for his body of work, all the teams that he's taken to the finals, all them playoff games when LeBron carried the Cleveland Cavaliers on his back, and then some, and then he went to Miami and won 2. They should have won more, but that team too, and the Lakers. So I think LeBron, I mean, you're gonna have to give it up. That crown's gonna come off that head. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a diehard Kobe. I thought Kobe was the closest thing to Mike, but at the end of the day, longevity is going to serve court for LeBron James. We didn't call him King James for nothing. So that's what I really got to say on that.
With that said, we're going to lead into you guys' favorite subject. We're going to talk a little Las Vegas Raiders, and Mr. Derek Carr got a nice little extension to his little contract. Got some paper. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna defer to you guys on this. I have something on it, but I don't even want to talk on it, man. I just want to listen. You know what I'm saying? Raider Mike, you've been gone for a while, man. So
yeah, I have.
Let me hear what you got to say.
But yeah, he to me, what is this? 3 years, 121 million extension. That's for roughly.
Somebody stop that phone.
Me.
But look, that's 3 years. That's he can make it 40 million a year, and I knew that was going to happen. That's what the market value is. And like I told you guys all about this, I knew it was coming. It was very deserving of him to get it, even though some people might say he don't deserve it. He does. Look at his body of work: 31,000 yards passing in his career. That's number one on the Raiders. Touchdown passes 192 or 197, something like that. That's number one for the Raiders. Completion percentage, that's number one for the Raiders. 2 playoff appearances. There's other guys who won Super Bowls and stuff, but when you want to say that there's people say he don't deserve it, that he's an average quarterback, he's the worst, like he's the last, okay, Justin, whatever Herbert is supposed to be in front of him, which he's not, because he ain't got no playoff experience. He ain't got his team there, so they can squash that. He deserved every penny that he got, because that man has led that team when they could have just threw the towel in last year. He rallied that team. He was the heart and soul of that team. He was the leader, and him and the coach too, Versace. But even though he's not there anymore,
Versace.
We have to go through this new regime, which I think is going to be good. But that contract, I think it's well deserving. It was warranted for him to get that contract, and like I said, he's going to do great this year, and I'm glad he got it. Like I said, that's my quarterback. Like T.O. said, that's my quarterback. I don't care what everybody else say. That's my quarterback.
Quarterback. All right. Big Shan, what you got on that, man?
And we doing way worse. I put out 2 names of first-round draft picks. Todd Marinovich and DeMarcus Russell. Sipping on syrup. You know what I mean? And this man is not a quitter. All trades, Derek Carr is not a quitter. And the thing that I like in his contract that they put in is a no trade clause, right? So, think about every year that he's played, even though he's led them, to the second playoff, even last year. Oh, Derek ain't the man. We're going to trade him. He's going to get traded. Like, man, as a leader of the team, and you got to go out there and lead that team, and you got that shit over your head every game. Is this my last game as a Raider? Is that? To me, I think that was the most important thing. I don't know that he's tripping off the money. It's part of the course. But I think in the next 3 years, if they take care of that D line and the Dalvin Cook and the moves that we made, we're going to be in the playoffs consistently, and we could get a Super Bowl ring in there. But we got not the D line. I'm sorry, the O line. We got to address that O line though, because otherwise it's just whatever. You know what I mean? And then, the fact that they traded Mariota, is like more confidence. Like, we got you, bro. And that's what a quarterback needs, is to know that organization is behind them. We believe in you. You're our leader. Let's go. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good move.
Okay. Architect, third Raider in the room.
I knew Derek was going to get this contract because if you paid attention closely when the Patriots were looking before they got Mac Jones, Josh McDaniels was kind of he wanted to make a trade for Derek Carr. Like, he really loves Derek Carr for whatever reason. And if it's one thing you look at Derek Carr, out of 127 games that he's been available, he's played in 127. You know what I'm saying? Granted, we all know Derek Carr, he may have his up and downs. People question how his play after he broke his ankle. But one thing, I will say, at least over the last 2 years, you see he's starting to play with a little bit more heart. Now, granted, he ain't get that fully guaranteed like a Sean Watson or something or whatever. But, I was watching his press conference. He did stuff like that on purpose because he went back on, like, when he got paid the first time and they got rid of Khalil Mack. He's like, I would never want to do that again. I want to be able to get my money, but at the same time, I want people around me as well to get paid. He very much is he's not like he's a rah guy, but he's very much about his team.
MC.
You know what I'm saying? He's very much about that. You know, he's very much,
Little Steph
a
Curry.
team player. You know what I'm saying? I think with without having that whole thing around his head, oh, am I going to get traded? Am I going to get cut? Do they believe in me? Whatever. I think bringing in Josh McDaniels, a coach who clearly wanted him, who clearly actually wants him, and can build an offense around him. I think that's going to be good for him. You know what I'm saying? Can't really predict the future. You know, as a Raider fan, I say this year is our year. We'll do better next year. Blah blah blah. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right now, on paper, we look good. Only going forward, I hope that whatever offense that Josh McDaniels chooses to scheme up with him and Derek, I hope it works out. I hope Derek continues to improve, and I only hope to see that we get to where we want to get to, which is inevitably a Super Bowl, and that is with Derek Carr.
Okay, I like that. I think you guys are in a good position, man. You know what I mean? Like, Bill Belichick, he didn't start winning until his second time around. He was with the Cleveland Browns, not so good. Got with the Patriots because he learned from his mistakes with the Browns. Did well. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, coach. He went to Denver, didn't work out. He went back to New England, got some more seasoning, came back. Now he's with the Raiders. Josh McDaniel. I think you guys are in a good position as a coach, and to him, Derek Carr is his quarterback. But
It's McDonald's.
But before he got there, there's this little rumor circulating. I don't know. Raiders was willing to give up Carr to the Colts. The Colts was kicking the tires to try to see what it's gonna look like.
Oh shit!
But it fell through. You know what I mean? They went with Matt Ryan, and they didn't give a Derek Carr. So I'm like, hey, the Raiders are like, shit. Since we got this old ass ribeye here, we might as well re-season it and see how it tastes. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
Let's go on and give him money. See what this money does for him. But you know what? All bullshit aside, that did happen though. The Colts wanted Carr. It'll come out later. But I think you guys are good. You poised freaking for a nice run. You know what I'm saying? And I do think Carr, of course, he's the third. There's no doubt that he's the third best quarterback in the division. Oh, yeah, I give, like Mike said, I give him that shit over Herbert. Herbert ain't won shit yet. He looked good, and he fucking is a young up-and-comer. The Chargers may never make the damn playoffs. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Shit. But Carr has done it, and what I will give Carr, to Shan's point, this season, this month, he went through, man, his nigga coach calling niggas Michelin tire lips. You know what I'm saying? freaking his star receiver freaking getting caught up in murder. Freaking the DB freaking on camera with guns and shit. I mean, everything the Raiders went through, he still got them through the playoffs. So he earned that extension just based off of that. Getting them to the playoffs through the season they had, he earned that money. Kudos to you, Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? And now it's really time to show and prove because they got you a nuclear weapon.
He has no excuses.
With Devontae Adams, you got the number one wide receiver in the NFL. You got the number one tight end in the NFL, and you got a damn good running back behind you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got I would say the Raiders are top 5 defensive line in the NFL too. Mm-hmm. So you guys got some tools, man. Hey, man, got some tools to work.
That line, the O-line.
No, it ain't the
DBs,
whole line. It's just the right tackle. We need to solidify the right tackle positions, not the whole offensive line. It's the right tackle, and we do need to draft another center, just in case it's we don't.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time on that. I want to run through because I want to do the 3 minutes of funk. I'll tell the people that's listening and whatnot what that is after the fact. But we can do a very quick playoff rundown because you had the games yesterday, had some games today, some real nice games today, or at least one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, Raider Mike, you know what I mean? Again, making up for lost time. Let us know about these here playoffs.
Well, I'll tell you what, this game that just went off, the Pelicans and who was that? Phoenix?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good. Hey, they was getting blown out. They lost by 11. They came back. They were trying to come back, so it wasn't as bad as it was earlier. But moving forward, they may win one game. I think they'll squeeze one game out of that, and that's about it. They ain't get nothing more than that. And okay. That's what I was just, I can hear it in the background, and I can hear all the excitement with Marv Albert, he in there commentating. So, he's a good commentator. He might not be a good cross dresser, but he's a good commentator. Might be a good biter and everything.
He might bite you on your ass too.
He might bite you, scratch you, kick you. No, but he's a good announcer. But that was a good game. I didn't see the real game that you guys were talking about, the Celtics and the Brooklyn game. I heard that was a really good game. So
that was a great game.
I did watch the Warriors game. Now let me go on and throw a little love for y'all team. That's y'all team. So now the Warriors look damn good. The way they toyed the old Djokovic, he didn't know what to do, man. They had him and they made him work and move around on defense, and it showed. The Warriors are talented and loaded, offensively and defensively. If the Warriors can just get they just really need the big man. And maybe, I don't know if they playing team basketball and playing the way they played last night. On Saturday night, if they can play like that, they may not need that big man. They do got that one other guy that's about 6'11". I forget what the guy name is. That's y'all team. But I do think that the Warriors, I don't care what to say about Phoenix. You can say whatever you want to say. Phoenix is a team to beat. But they going to be worried about the Warriors. Because if the Warriors have all that they stuff lined up and Clay hitting, Curry hitting, Jordan, my God, who's that Jordan Poole? Where the hell he come from? And I'm like, shit.
Michigan.
I know he came from Michigan, but I'm just saying how they just come out of all of a sudden, bam, he just killing people. I went to the game against Utah, great play. So, Greg, I think that, like I said, I think the Warriors, if they can continue to if they gelling and at the right time, man, it's anybody can win it. So I gotta say. I think that's what I.
Before I let the architect go, I got a nice little update, a notification. I have a very top level research department that I get my information from time to time. I just got something. It says, by all indications, the Jimmy Garoppolo era in San Francisco is reportedly over. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the 49ers quarterback Trey Lance has been told by the team staff that it's his job next season. That's hot off the press. I have a private weapon that, feeds me information from time to time. So anyway, young G,
I ain't surprised.
Young architect, what you got on the playoffs, young architect?
I think this is I think this playoffs, the first games of the playoffs were amazing. You had 3 standout first young players who did well. Yeah, I'm talking Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, and Jordan Poole. Those 3 players right there for their respective teams, they played amazing. Especially Tyrese Maxey. That man had 30.
I like your angle, G.
Jordan Poole was perfect in the first half, or at least in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Edwards, that man said if he really picked a sport, he'd rather play football, but God damn it, he is good in basketball. I think the future, if those 3 teams can keep on those 3 young players, I think they'll be good going into the future. Now, looking into Utah and Dallas. Utah scraped by with Dallas without Luka, but Dallas almost beat them. They only lost by 6. You look at New Orleans and Philly. We saw that coming. Phoenix was the number 1 team all year, whatever. Miami, Duncan Robinson came back into his own. Chicago, they barely lost to Milwaukee. I think that is going to be another good series because people forget Chicago is good defensively. You know what I'm saying? And also at the same time, if they can continue to create turnovers like how they did tonight against Milwaukee, I think they can scrape by a couple of games, possibly even force a game 7. Now, the series that I think is going to be the most exciting is going to be this Brooklyn and Boston series, because if you watch tonight, boy, Kyrie was on a tear, and that man can't even eat during the day. Man, look. And then on top of that, Jason Tatum, it took to Jason Tatum to hit a game winner just for them to win by 1 point. I think this series is gonna be amazing because no one can stop Kevin Durant. No one can really stop Kyrie when he gets going. And Jason Tatum is very much looking like he follows that Kobe mentality thoroughly. He dreams about that Kobe mentality, man. It is ridiculous. I think that series is going to go to 7. And honestly, whoever wins that series, I think they go into the NBA Finals, boy. I don't care. I'm saying it now.
Ooh.
That's my hot take. Whoever wins out of 2 and 7, that's who going to the chip.
Okay. I like that. I'm like, man, was I that fiery at the tender age of 25? Dang, boy, you had a lot of energy there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's playoff basketball.
You know what you got in the playoffs, man.
Man, look, I agree, but I don't know if Kevin just got off to a sluggish start or whatever. You know what I mean? But looking at him between like Kyrie does Kyrie. We gonna do that, right? But Durant was looking a little sluggish, and then like Tatum blocked 3 of his shots, no problem. And I think he might have got 1 or 2 of Kyrie. You know, that boy is hungry, and I think he's pissed off because he ain't in the MVP running, and he should be, you know. But what I can't remember old boy's name who dished the ball to him. I don't think it was Brown. But like he was like, you deserve this, and he got the game-winning shot, right? The first time that the Celtics had it since 2010, you know. So I don't think it's going 7, man. You know, I don't think it's going 7. I think that the Celtics defense is a little too much because they're a little younger, you know what I mean, than the Nets. So I think it's 5 at best. You know what I mean? I'm not.
We're not smoking on. I want some of that.
Hey,
I want to smoke some of that. What
that's
you
gonna
talking
be.
about?
Hey,
that
no, I'm
wait.
not.
But who?
That
listen,
is a.
I'm not.
Sorry,
Listen,
bro. I'm sorry for laughing, man, but that shit came out very naturally, bro.
No, who?
I say
who 5?
bullshit.
Five. The man, look, the Celtics is gonna take it, man.
All right.
I don't know about that.
I like that.
I
like that.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, look, don't be surprised. Like I always.
I didn't 5 though.
I'm not taking anything away from Kyrie and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Fellas.
I say bullshit.
Look here, man.
I
love the part where I can.
It's sports fan talk, right?
Yeah,
sir.
exactly.
I like it.
That's what I love about it. Right now, the horses are running wild. The horses is out, you know, running out the stable. The shit is fucking wild right now.
They wasn't supposed to be though, right? They're the number 2.
Who wasn't supposed to be what?
The Celtics. They wasn't supposed to be
what?
They wasn't supposed to be the number 2 seed. Like their stuff was all mixed up. You know what I mean? They picked stuff up, and then now all of a sudden it's gelling. Brown. You know, they doing their thing, man.
Jason Tatum and
look at here, man. Let me put some perspective on this here shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at here. The Celtics barely did what they were supposed to do. Win a home playoff game. They won it by 1 point at the last second. And Durant, he wasn't sluggish. He had a bad game. Durant only had 23 points.
Yeah,
the maestro.
On 24 shots.
Huh?
I said Nash benching for a hot minute. He's like, man, you
yeah. Check this out, man. Check this out.
On bench, Kevin.
Maestro had 39, right?
Yes,
Maestro, Mr. Kyrie Irving had 39.
Right.
Nobody can stop him. Understand this. That man can dribble better than Curly Neal of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Kyrie Irving. I don't know about that, Gregory.
Man, look at here, brother.
He's close.
Look at here.
He's close, but he's no cigar.
There's only a few players worth the price of admission in the NBA, man. I would pay to see Kyrie Irving 7 days out of 7. I love that dude's game. Durant was always my favorite player because I believe he's a nuclear bomb. Nobody, once he really gets started, he does his thing and he makes it his makes up his mind, this is what I want to do, nobody can stop him. There's never been a player like him. So for Kyrie to go off and for him to have a bad game, and look, Horford had 20, Brown had 23, Smart had 20, Tatum had 31. Come on, bruh. Boston shot all their bullets, shot them all. And guess what? They didn't miss. They shot center mass on all the freaking this shit, and they only won by a layup, bruh, in the last second of the game.
But
So
that
for
first
me,
half, there was more
but for
fouls.
me, like the point I'm trying to make is they did what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to win home playoff games. That's the NBA. That's what happens. They did what they're supposed to do. Now, your whole point, if Brooklyn wins game 2, Boston is fucked. The whole series is turned. The pressure is turned. Everything is turned. You know what I'm saying? So, let's not ejaculate in 10 seconds, man. Let's let the pleasure last a little longer and
So
see.
let me just say this. Let's look at the whole game though, right? Like in the first quarter, it was just hella fouls, just dumb fouls. You know what I mean? Like it was like Boston was like, oh, I don't know, whatever the referee and whatever the case was and shit, but they still won. At the end of the day, what we all say as athletes is like, hey, a W's a W, right? We could go back and reevaluate and whatnot, but if they lost the game, then it would be a different conversation. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the conversation you're saying is mute. You have no point because they did what they're supposed to do. I don't care how they did it. If Boston won by 50 or if they won by 1, the home team is supposed to win game 1 in the playoffs. That's how this shit goes. There's a rhythm to the playoffs, period. You're supposed to win your home games. That's all they did was what they're supposed to do.
And they did, but the argument you saying is it's like, you know what, they won by 1. And I'm just like,
no,
okay.
That's not my argument. My argument is that their best players played well. Brooklyn's best players, one of them played great and the other one played okay. And they still only won by 1. That's my point. Not the fact that they won by 1. I'm like, you played your best. I didn't play my best and you won by 1. Guess what? If we both come out and we both play our best and you still play your best, it might be a different outcome. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? So all they did was what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Please, we can go in circles on this, but you cannot beat me at this, bruh. I do this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do.
No, I'm not trying to beat you, but we'll have a conversation at game 2 and see. You know what I mean? Because
I like this. Like
they said, playoffs don't start until the road team win a playoff.
Exactly my point.
That's it.
That's it. The playoffs don't start until the road
team win a damn game, man.
That's the thing.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not jumping.
So what are you saying? Because the road team didn't win.
What I'm saying is
what?
that I believe in the Celtics, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you believe the Celtics are going to win in 5, right? That's what you said.
That's
right?
what I said.
Okay.
That's what I said. Yep.
Okay. We'll talk about it in game 6.
Yeah.
So next up, we have 3 minutes of fun, which I was like, okay, for people listening, this is a new segment of the show where I was just like, I want each person to shine, be able to get what they want to get on in the sports world off their chest in 3 minutes. And this will be timed for 3 minutes so we don't go too long because hopefully we're passionate about what we want to say. You know what I mean? And when you get passionate about what you want to say, sometimes we over talk and go longer than long. So first up, who wants to go first? Architect, Ray and Mike, Shan. One of y'all want to go first?
Shan, go ahead, Shan. Get on there.
I was going to ask, somebody's knocking at my door. Give me a second, man.
I said, go ahead. You take
the handle your business.
You introducing the new
I got a good thing for y'all though, but give me a second.
What you need a second for? Go on ahead, man. We waiting on you.
Yeah.
Somebody's at my
go ahead.
door.
Go. Peace. Go.
You the only one at home?
Sheesh.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
he got here froze
you take
up.
the
Huh?
reins, Pop. You take the reins.
All right, I'll go ahead and do it then. If you do it like that, I think he got froze up like a popsicle in here. Can't freeze like a popsicle or melt like that ice cream. But anyway, since I didn't really get on here and do my thing about the wide receivers, well, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this like here because I had some whatever the technical difficulties happen on this, laptop or whatever. But anyway, I want to talk about, first of all, I'm going to talk about these wide receivers that I think that are going to be great. And when I think of Jameis Williams, even though he's injured from Alabama, explosive. Once he's healthy, whoever drafts him, I don't care, it's a steal. If they draft him in the second round because of his injury, they crazy. That dude is explosive. And I seen him run after the catch and the speed, the separation. I mean, damn. I mean, I don't know. Alabama's building that. I mean, that's the pro team in college. And that dude looks like as a grown man doing things. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a grown man among boys. You seen Alabama play when he was healthy. I'm talking when he's healthy. And then also, my other second wide receiver, I like, yeah, Garrett Wilson is nice from Ohio State. He's nice. And you got Christian Watson, that South Dakota, whatever, that one wide receiver, 6'6", that dude is nice. And then you got Chris Olave, explosive, speed, take the top off the defense. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be a good player from whoever. He's going to go on. He's going in the first round, sometime in the first round, I would think. And then Drake London, the guy out of USC, has the best hands, they say, in this draft. And he's about 6'3", almost 6'4", good speed, runs. He needs to improve a little bit more on his route running, but he's a good route runner, but he got the best hands, they say, natural hands. You know what I'm saying? So Drake London from USC. I think he's going to the Packers personally. And then we got a Jahan Dotson. That dude is supposed to be explosive. Was he Penn State? Was that the Penn State or is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
That dude is explosive too. These all dudes jump off the screen. This is a real deep wide receiver class right here. I don't care what they say. They was talking about this.
We got one more minute, Mike.
We got one more minute. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna talk about them cornerbacks. That Sauce Gardner dude is icy. You got him, you got the Darryl Stingley Jr. And he's going to be, like I said, he might be the number one quarterback right now if it wasn't for injury, Darryl Stingley Jr. Because he was lights out when they went on that championship run and won the national title.
LSU, baby.
Just a lockdown. LSU. He's a lockdown cornerback, Greg. And when he get there healthy, he'll prove it. And then they have, what's that other is, there's a Trent McDuffie, Andrew Booth, and there's a Kyle Gordon. But all them quarterbacks, man, it's loaded. This draft is loaded. I can't wait to see these boys play. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I got. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to see. But I'm telling you that Darryl Stingley Jr., don't sleep on him. If he stay 100% healthy, he's going to be an LD.
All right, that's 3 minutes. You got it in. Nice. I like that. You wrapped it up real nice. All right. Big Shan, what you got on that, man? Your little 3 minutes of funk, man. I'm about to start you on the clock as soon as you open your mouth.
All right, so mine's a little different, man. You said anything, so I wanted to touch on athletes being entertainers. You know what I mean? So let's talk about Dame Lillard. You know what I mean? He's on his 4th album from last year. You know, he's dropping in the charts and whatnot. Obviously, a lot of try to be rap cats and whatnot. You know, and then we got we got somebody, Deion Sanders, who was the first to entertain or win a championship on 2 different teams. Then he dropped the album. It wasn't the best thing ever. You know what I mean? He hooked up with Hammer and stuff. But we have Allen Iverson, Mr. Crossover, who dropped the album 40 Bars. But as soon as he dropped that album, it was some controversial stuff because it was around the 2000s when all this stuff was starting to bubble up. And they were like, oh, misogynist, hominist, all that stuff, and it was a wrap. Okay, but what you guys don't know, and you do know, is that Shaq, he's probably the most successful, wearing rings, but put out an album, Shaq Diesel, dropped the album, double platinum. The second album after that was gold. Okay. But did you know that Julio Iglesias used to be a soccer player and he broke his leg, and that's why he started to be a singer? Did you know that Oscar De La Hoya was nominated for a Grammy? And even better, because I'm gonna wrap it up real quick, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Even better, did you know that Muhammad Ali put out an album? Right?
Yes, I knew both, man.
Okay.
I didn't.
I knew
You may
Oscar.
have,
I knew
our
Oscar.
fans may have not.
I knew Muhammad Ali too.
I knew.
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali.
but that's it's just like actors trying to be comedians or actors singing, whatever the case is. But the music world and the athletic world is always tied up. And I'm gonna leave you with this little tidbit so I could make sure I'm in my 3 minutes. But Muhammad didn't sound bad, and this is him.
Hey, bro, we don't. I'm about to say we don't want to get flagged.
Yeah,
man.
can't get flagged for YouTube, bro.
And just a little taste, but I'm just saying, like, look,
I know.
you
I heard
heard
that before. Yeah.
But hey, that's my 3 minutes of fun. I had some other stuff, but I'm like, you know what? We're talking about the fun. Let's bring the fun. Let's talk about how athletes want to be in the entertainment world and how entertainers want to be in the athletic world. You know what I mean? So
Nice. You ended it right on 3 minutes too. I like that. Got it in. Young architect. Give me 3 minutes of funk, man.
I think the three major sports in the U.S., and I'm talking football, baseball, and basketball, should all get rid of the combine.
Get rid of what?
The combine.
Wow.
Any combine, any pro days, all that. I think they should get rid of it. I think it's a waste of time. I think if you think you can tell a good football player by running how fast they run, measure how big their hands are, and you think you can tell a good football prospect off of that, I think you should be fired and you're an idiot. Because at the end of the day, there's been plenty of players in the draft where they can jump out of the gym or run fast as hell. They can catch everything, or they look like they can catch everything when they're not being guarded. As soon as you put them in the game, they're hot trash. You know what I'm saying? There's been plenty. And I'm talking more so about the NFL, mainly because there was all these receivers running 4.3, 4.2. Never heard of them. You know what I'm saying? Never heard of them during like the college football year. Cornerbacks too, who were just hella fast, and that's cool. You can run as fast as you want. You see how fast John Ross ran. He's basically out the league. You know what I'm saying? I think all in all, if you get rid of the combine and you just instead of having players trying to focus on, because really nowadays most players only focus on running the 40. They want that fast 40 time. You let the players work out, have like their own off season before the draft, the players coming in. I feel like that would be a lot better. And you just sit there and watch the tape, because you can look at a bunch of players. The player can have a bad combine, but that don't mean he's a bad player. You know what I'm saying? You look at one of the greatest receivers of all time, Jerry Rice. That man didn't run fast. I think he ran like a 4.6 or something like that. But you put him on you put him on the field, wasn't nobody catching him after he caught the ball. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at another one, like I hate to say this, but Jamarcus Russell. That man could throw 70 yards on his knees. He was trash. You know what I'm saying? And there's countless others. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you get rid of that. You get rid of the combine on all, as far as all major sports, and you just focus on watching the tape. I feel like there will be a lot fewer busts in the NFL than there are, you know what I'm saying, than there have been in the past.
Got 30 more seconds.
Oh, no, I'm done. We can cut it.
Hey, man.
And fire Roger Goodell. There you go.
Okay. Fire Roger. All right, man. I told you cats. Let me put myself on the clock. Boom. I told you cats my ongoing theme throughout this whole thing for me is going to be put some more motherfucking brothers on the baseball field, and that's where I'm at. You know, this weekend marks the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson being the first Black player in the league, and that happened 2 days ago, April 15th. Now, did you know that was 1947, right?
Yep.
This is how the racial breakdown was in 1947 as far as baseball players. It was 98% white, 0.09% black, Jackie, 0.07% Latino. You know what I'm saying? 25 years later, 72% white, 16% black, 10% Latino. 25 years after that, which would be 50 years ago, 60% white, 15% black, 23% Latino, more than us. Go to 2016, 63% white, 6.7% black, 27% Latino. To where you go now, there's only 7% of African-American players right now in the MLB, man. You know what I'm saying? 1992 was the last year there was more African-American players than Latino players in the league. So with that being said, it's just like we're celebrating Jackie Robinson, but we're basically still in the same place or even behind his dreams for the game. He wanted to be the first Black player so there could be more, but there's actually less. We're regressing instead of progressing. You know what I mean? And this cat, he kind of felt it even in his latter years. You know, the man died at the age of 53. He was young, you know what I'm saying? But towards the end of his life, he didn't even stand for the national anthem because he was so disgusted by American politics and the way things were. You know, when he was in 1944, when he was in the military and they had him on a bus going to camp, they told him to get to the back of the bus. And he was like, man, fuck that. I ain't getting to the back. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do it. But guess what? 11 years later, Rosa Parks did it, and she's, you know, lauded as the person who started the civil rights movement by not going to the back of the bus. Jackie did it 11 years earlier. You know, and then with that being said, my whole thing is, bro, we need to be respected. We need to be more of us put on the field. And actually, the Oakland A's, I'm calling you out because in 2019, it was announced that you're supposed to retire Dave Stewart's number and have a ceremony in 2020. 2020, COVID happened, all that stuff. It was empty stadiums. You didn't do it. And guess what? You still didn't do it. Matter of fact, I'm in my last 30 seconds, y'all. Let me tell you what old Dave had to say about the situation. Let me pull it up. Let's see. On April 12th, a fan tweeted, this fan named Glenn Hallog, he tweeted, the number retirement is supposed to be happening this season. I thought it would have been listed in the A's events this year, but I don't see anything. I know the original ceremony was in 2020, but it was postponed because of COVID. This is Dave Stewart's response. I have no idea what the A's are doing at this point. They can just retire my number. No celebration as far as I'm concerned. Come to the park and it will be displayed with the other numbers. If you find out something before I do, let me know. So they're not respecting the brothers, man. I'm saying put some more brothers on the goddamn field and respect what we have done to this game. Don't just celebrate Jackie Robinson. You know what I'm saying? I hate that freaking ceremonial, the brothers have done so much or whatever, but fuck them type attitude. You know what I'm saying? Show us respect across the board and, you know, do what you're supposed to do, MLB. That includes you, Oakland A's. Retire that man's jersey, have a damn ceremony. I will be there for that when you announce that it's going to happen. All right. With that, my comrades, everyone can sign off for the night. So,
Right.
Go ahead, be your thing.
There's your player partner, number one Raider Mike. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a good evening, have a good Easter, and good night.
Hey, this is Big Shan. I hope y'all had a good Easter, man. You know, hope y'all appreciate the 3 minutes of funk, and I'm out. Like, share, subscribe. Deuces.
It's your boy, the Young Art. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Get more brothers in the league.
Yes, yes. And I am, once again, your humble host, Big G. Thank you for watching in. I had somebody special watching tonight that I invited to watch the show. He's supposed to give us a lot of pointers on how to be constructively constructively criticize the show to let me know what we can do to be better. Former NBA player and all that. My partner hit me before the show. I hit him, and we're gonna see some adjustments we can make going forward. And remember, everyone, like, share, subscribe. We're gonna see y'all next week at the same time.